So it turns out that Rosh Hashanah is the day that human life was first created, and that's what's given annually. What is human life? Human life is exercising free will and earning one's existence in the eternity. One can ask a question. The Rishonim already point this out. It says on Rosh Hashanah, everyone's judged. They're remembered for life or otherwise. So why don't we find that all the wicked drop dead on Rosh Hashanah? Wouldn't it be nice if every Rosh Hashanah, all these wicked people, just wouldn't wake up in the morning?
That wouldn't really be fair, because then you're not really giving them a chance to prove themselves.
They were given a chance. They've been around for a long time.
It would take away free will.
That's the answer. The answer is like everything else in this world. Hashem is in hiding. If things would be obvious, we wouldn't have free will.
Was he ever not hiding?
There were times that he revealed himself. And when Mashiach comes, he'll reveal himself again. So what does happen on Rosh Hashanah? What does it mean when it says that there are those who are judged for death? So here we are again with the definition of life. What's being distributed on Rosh Hashanah is life. Meaningful life. Opportunity for growth. Opportunity for greatness. Those who are judged for death they'll be allowed to roam the earth. Perhaps make some trouble too. But are they really given life? See, if the focus of Rosh Hashanah is, I want to keep breathing, and nothing better than that, then the question is unanswered. How could it say that there's people who are sentenced to death? And it's based on, if they're good or evil. The wicked should drop dead. What's given out is opportunity, meaningful life. You don't want to be judged on Rosh Hashanah to be kept alive only as a screen behind Hashem can hide so that everyone else will have free will. If that's the sum total of what you get on Rosh Hashanah, you're in trouble. What we're looking for in Rosh Hashanah is the ability to grow, to take responsibility for our own midos, take responsibility for our character, to build ourselves further. Everything that it takes to make that happen. Being the physical needs to help accommodate that. Be it Hashem putting us in the right places and give us the right opportunities. Meet the right people. That's the life that's given out on Rosh Hashanah. And that's what it is that we're supposed to desire in order to receive it. We are not talking about survival. We're talking about living. The Gemara actually says explicitly, "Rishoyim b'chayehim nikroyim misi." The wicked during their lifetime are called dead. That's life.
Is the opposite true?
Yeah, it says so.
The tzaddikim are actually called dead.
It says that tzaddikim who are dead are still alive. They're still teaching. They're constantly being quoted. I don't know, there are Gedolei Yisrael from previous generations that seem to be still writing. There are more and more books of theirs that are still coming out. So the preparation for Rosh Hashanah is getting it clear. How do I define life and what am I pursuing? Now this takes us really to the next step. Rosh Hashanah is a day of judgment. Why judgment? It's a day that's life-giving. Why is it a day of judgment? The Ramban in Bereshis, where the verse reads, Vayar Hashem es ha'or ki tov. And Hashem saw the light that it was good. So the Ramban asks, what does it mean that Hashem saw the light was good? You mean he's got this workshop and sometimes he makes good things and sometimes they just don't work? Says the Ramban, Vayomer Elokim Yihi Or. When Hashem said, let there be light, that was the creation of light. Vayar Elokim es ha'or ki tov, when he saw it was good, that was giving it perpetuation. He gave the light the ability to continue to be there. On what basis? Ki tov. That it was good. What does it mean the light was good? It means that the light was fulfilling the function it was created for. What Hashem did on that first day, and then on almost every one of the subsequent days, is after creating whatever he created, he then gazed upon it to see that it's fulfilling its function. Of course, he saw that it was. It was created by Hashem. That gave it its ability to perpetuate itself. Says the Ramban, that is all part of what creation was. And then we go and extend that to what happens on Rosh Hashanah. Every year when Hashem is giving out human life, He is giving it out on the basis of Vayar Elokim ki tov. To the degree that it is serving its function, to that degree it is perpetuated. Once again, perpetuation we are defining not as existing. The wicked are alive, but they're dead. You are given opportunities in the year to come on the level that you show that that's what you live for. If you are dedicated to earning your existence, to working hard, to changing your character, to toiling to understand Hashem's wisdom, to be there for everyone else, be there for the Jewish people, to be there for Hashem. If that's the way you define your role in this world, and you're serving your purpose, your role is you are an appropriate recipient of Hashem's good, because that's what Hashem's good is. Then what you get on Rosh Hashanah is a year of opportunity to grow more. Everything that it will take to help you grow more. And that's not the way you define yourself. If you've got other aspirations, then when Hashem gazes upon you, it's hard for him to see the kitov. It is good. Good means fulfilling its function. Our function is to be the recipients of his good, and his good is to be able to work hard and earn that relationship with him. If one doesn't find himself with that, so he'll get a year of roaming the earth. Yes, he'll be part of what Hashem hides behind, so no one will lose their free will, because if all the wicked would drop dead, we wouldn't have free will. So this person is roaming the earth. Be a screen for Hashem, so he can continue to hide. But there'll be no meaning in the year to come. There'll be no opportunity in the year to come. So what is that life that we have to learn to appreciate and ask for? It is the life of exercising our free will, of growing and sharing. And once again, if Elul, the preparation for Rosh Hashanah, is tuning into Hashem's desire to give on Rosh Hashanah, we tune into it by developing a desire of our own. This is what we aspire to. This is what we want. We want to work hard. We want to make demands on ourselves. We want to be greater. If that's where we're coming from, we're ready to fulfill our role as the recipients of Hashem's good, and we'll get it for the asking. In the Talmud Yerushalmi, we find a very interesting thing that today is customary. Yerushalmi writes, he who sleeps on Rosh Hashanah, his mazel will sleep. Which is generally translated as, if someone sleeps on Rosh Hashanah, his good mazel, his good luck, will be dormant that year. So people are very superstitious about this. On Rosh Hashanah by day, people don't sleep. Even though davening can be long, get up early, have a heavy meal. You will go right back to the Beis Medrash. You won't nap on Rosh Hashanah because of this Yerushalmi. The custom is not to sleep. We are not a superstitious people. What's wrong with sleeping on Rosh Hashanah?
You want to be awake, so you want to be there when your judgment happens, because you want to be aware of every moment of that day.
Why do you want to be aware?
Representative of your entire year.
Okay. What's wrong with sleep?
Can you drop a hint?
You know, Jews are very weird. The more you learn, the more you run into the different words of Chazal that make sleep sound like...
Oh, it sounds like death.
It's a 60th of death. What happens when you're asleep?
Your mind is on autopilot.
Absolutely. It's your imagination at work, your mind. There's no free will involvement. Why do people go to sleep? Okay, sometimes because they're tired, but not only. Yeah, it's the easiest cop-out. The easiest way to deal with life is to escape it.
Well, sleep is also, it restores your...
Yeah, okay,
It's like charging a cell phone.
yeah. To a degree, people sleep a lot more than they really have to. If they sleep a little less, they'd probably be more energetic.
They go back and forth on that though a lot. Like some people have like, oh, this.
You got to try it out on yourself. You got to try it on yourself. You'll find if you sleep a lot, you're always sleepy.
Like personal question: do you take a nap during the day?
I don't take a nap during the day, but I often fall asleep talking to people.
For the non-observant, how does Rosh Hashanah affect their year? Is it still all the same rules apply? They still know what's happening?
They don't know what's happening. It's unfortunate. They don't know what is happening. There's a degree to which they can't be held responsible because they don't know, on the one hand. On the other hand, it's a missed opportunity. And it's good for others to daven for them. As individuals and for all of our brethren. Yeah.
So what's the shot you're showing us?
What the Yerushalmi is saying is, this is the day where we are being judged for, we are given opportunity on the basis of how much we desire life for real. If the way you deal with Rosh Hashanah is by going to sleep, you've made your statement. When you then come and daven and say, remember me to life, what you're really saying is, I don't want to die. You're not asking for life. If you really wanted life, on Rosh Hashanah of all days, the day that we think about what life is, where we define life, that is not a day you want to go mad. By the way, the Mishnah Brura says, practically speaking, that if on Rosh Hashanah you're dead tired and you find that you just can't concentrate, you're wasting time. That's the equivalent of sleep. If you make a decision, I can do with a nap, and then my brain will work, then that's not considered sleeping on Rosh Hashanah. The idea is to desire to be alive. Not escape life. You want to live life. But living life means facing the challenges of life, not escaping them. Recognizing that every one of them gives us an opportunity to build ourselves further. Pushing ourselves, doing what we couldn't do a day before. Being in full control of ourselves. That doesn't mean that in preparation for Rosh Hashanah, you've got to be this big tzaddik. There's a very interesting Gemara. The Gemara tells us that Yishmael was sick, he was dying. When Hagar was thrown out of Avram Avinu's house, so she says, I don't want to see him die. She leaves him there in the desert. And he's crying. So Hashem speaks to Hagar. And he says, I hear his cry. And we find 3 words in the pasuk there. Hashem says, I heard the voice of the youth. Ba'asher hu sham, from where he is. The Gemara tells us that this episode took place on Rosh Hashanah. Yishmael now, his life was in the balance. Hashem knew what his descendants were going to do to us. Says the Gemara. He was given life. Ba'asher hu sham, because where he was at the time, on that day, he was innocent. The Gemara tells us, on Rosh Hashanah, the judgment, when you're evaluated, it's where you're at. Not your past, not your future. What kind of judgment is that? So you put on a show on Rosh Hashanah, and you got it. That's not what it means. On Rosh Hashanah, you're not judged for your deeds as much as your aspirations. What do you live for? How do you define your purpose in being here? If it's to work, to grow, to share, you got it. If it's for something else, then there's no Vayar Elokim Ki Tov. You don't define your purpose in a way that is harmonious with Hashem's purpose in creating you. Just to bestow upon us the ability to connect to Him by way of our free will. To work hard, perfect ourselves. To fight for Klal Yisrael. To take responsibility for our needs. So really, this is what the day calls for, and this is the preparation that is necessary. It's much more a matter of attitude and aspiration than deed. So yeah, that's really what we're supposed to be doing these days. The days of Elul. Asking ourselves, what are we aspiring to? How do we define our purpose in life? I want to go further. Rosh Hashanah is a very interesting festival. On the one hand, it's been an awesome day. It's a day of judgment. On the other hand, it's a festival. We have a festive meal. Even the davening is full of singing. We find that there's a discussion way back when of how to dress on Rosh Hashanah. Do you wear your festive clothes? But your life is on the line. Do you not wear your festive clothes? It's a festival. So they say you wear white. Not everybody does. But what's the message? In those days, their festive garb was very colorful. Times have changed. I guess we've lost our taste. That's not what Rosh Hashanah is. But it's a festival. So what is it? It's been spooky. So you gotta hear this one. It is the festival of judgment. Why are we celebrating it? Well, if you bought into the work ethic, you deeply appreciate the fact that this is the day you get to earn what the day is all about. Is what do you live for? Do you live to work hard and earn? Or you're on a freeload? It is the festival of judgment. The festival of responsibility. The festival of work. We are proud to be human beings who, unlike the animal kingdom, are responsible for our actions. We earn our existence. We don't just exist. We earn our existence. That's something we celebrate. Something Jews do. This is not the only example of this. What is a bar mitzvah celebration?
Well, it's more of a cultural thing.
No, it's celebrating responsibility.
You look to the source. It's a marshal and Bava Kama. Yam Shel Shlomo and Bava Kama. You gotta hear the source.
You're saying not the party itself, but the actual...
What is the celebration of a bar mitzvah? What do we celebrate?
What's the occasion? Yeah, for the person's
The Yam Shel Shlomo. That's the marshal and Bava Kama says the following. The Gemara relates. It says that Rabbi Yosef was blind. There was a disagreement among the Amoroi if a blind person is chayav b'mitzvahs, if he's responsible for mitzvahs. But we say no, since he can't see what he's doing anyway, he's free from all obligations. So Rabbi Yosef wrote, the Gemara writes, that Rabbi Yosef used to say, any one of the Amoraim, any rabbi, that says that a blind person is chayav b'mitzvahs, I will throw him a party.
Sorry,
Anyone that says that a blind person is responsible for mitzvahs, I will throw him a party. In other words, I will celebrate.
yeah.
Why will I celebrate? Because I want to be responsible.
Lucy was a Gemara,
Rabbi Yosef was an Amorah, yeah.
so wouldn't that pretty conclusively by itself prove that you become great even if you're blind?
No, he wanted to know if he was responsible or he just did it on his own. There's a difference between being responsible or volunteering.
No, what I meant is if he can do it, doesn't it show that others can too, and therefore they would be responsible?
Not necessarily. It means he really pushed himself. I mean, you can be sure to become an Amora when one couldn't see. Took a lot of work. There's no audio in those days. Nor was there Braille.
I guess because he can still hear, he can still have relationships with people, and he can still talk and effectuate the
Yeah, and become a Rabbi Yosef. You become a Rabbi Yosef.
When you're
The question is, do we say that a blind person has full responsibility like everybody else?
I would think that they would.
But we do. That's the halacha.
But a
Rabbi
deaf
Yosef
person-
said that anyone who says this, he will throw him a party. Get it straight. So the Marshal says what we see here is that when a person becomes responsible or becomes aware that he's responsible, that's reason to celebrate. Says the Marshal, that is the celebration of a bar mitzvah.
Is that similar to a wedding?
A wedding is a combination of things. It is taking responsibility for another human being, but there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more to it. A wedding is not just responsibility. Rosh Hashanah, Bar Mitzvah, get the theme. To a thinking person. To a thinking person. What we're all about is responsibility. Animals have no responsibilities. The human has responsibility. The human being has responsibility. We celebrate our humanity. We're responsible. That's Rosh Hashanah. And we recognize this is the day that Hashem distributes opportunity for human life. Human life is responsibility, earning. Not just saying, this is who I am. We have our strengths, we have our weaknesses, and we cannot surrender to our weaknesses in the name of this is who I am. You know who you are? You're a human being. The human being has the ability to completely redo his whole self. He won't turn into somebody else. You still have your personality. But you can get rid of all of the shortcomings in your personality.
But he has to do all that work before that day.
Rosh Hashanah is the day that you resign yourself to it. Now, obviously, if you didn't give it a try, then it's lip service.
Yeah.
It's good practice in these days to work on things and see how much you enjoy it. Then your aspiration for real life is something that is not just words, it's your own experience. You feel how much you love it. And it is great. It is great. Nothing feels better than working hard and feeling that you changed. Finding yourself in a similar situation that you were in yesterday and seeing how you dealt with it so much better today. You feel you're alive. It's so empowering. But you gotta get it straight. This is the essence of Rosh Hashanah. This is what Rosh Hashanah is all about. This is it. It's the day human life was first created, and the spiritual forces of the day are such that human life is given out for the asking. And what is human life? Taking responsibility for yourself, earning your existence, working to perfect yourself. Okay, so you know what to do?